Hello. In this screencast, we're going to look at how to set up Google Meet within your Canvas courses. We will be using Google Meet this year for live sessions. This is the only tool available for recording live sessions. Google Meet also has the ability to record and export those sessions so they can be uploaded to Canvas. This platform integrates with Canvas and is part of the G Suite. That means teachers, students, and administrators are already familiar with the G Suite products. So to start, we're going to enter a course. I'm going to use my sandbox as an example. As a teacher, I would first need to go into a course and set up the Google Meet itself. We can do this by adding a module. So I'm going to add a module to this course, and I can call it something the students are going to recognize. So in this case, I might call it Google Meet for Class. I want this module, since my new ones that I create are always added to the bottom, I want this one to always be at the top if I'm going to leave it viewable to my students. So I'm going to put this one at the top so it's always the first thing they see. Once I have the module created, I'm going to then go and add a page. So I go and click on the plus button. Oops, I'm going to click page, not file, and I'm going to call it a new page. And once again, I can call it something like Classroom Live or whatever you're going to identify for your students as this is the meeting place. Once I have my page created, I'm going to click and I'm going to go to edit that page. As with all other Canvas assignments and features, we've learned the rich content editor will appear. The last tool on the content editor is an icon of what looks like a plug. You're going to click on that plug and you're going to scroll down until you find Google Hangouts Meet. Now remember, you only have to do this one time for the courses that you want to set this up with. And since we're going to go live with Google Meet, it'll need to be set up in each of your courses. It's going to ask you to authenticate with Google, so I'm going to grant access. And then it automatically puts in the link and any dial-in information and the conference ID. You could, if you're not using the dial-in, then you could always delete that, but you never know with technical difficulties, a student may only have their phone. So then I can save this. I can make it bigger, I can put it in the middle, etc., but I'm going to save that for now. So on my modules, one way to join it is simply to put it in a module. You can create a page and just explain to the students, this is where we're going to connect at certain times. You can use the announcement feature in Canvas to make sure they understand those times, or an email through the Canvas to let them know this is the time we're going to meet for our live session. Now, when you have this set up, another feature that you can turn this into is what we call a redirect tool. I do have to set up the Meet to begin with, but once I have it set up, I as a teacher could say, you know, I don't really want it to keep it in a module, but I want to have it in the navigation for my students, which may be easier. So how I do that is as I'm going to go back to the live Meet, I'm going to actually click on Join the Meet so that it comes up. Oops. And here is the link to that actual Meet. So I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to go down to Settings. For that course. And then I'm going to go up to the Apps tab. And in there, I'm going to filter, and I'm looking for what's called the Redirect Tool. Redirect Tool. And it looks like a little arrow there. And I want to add that app. Now, I don't want to leave it called Redirect Tool. So maybe I'm going to call it Daily Live Session. And I've already done an example of this before. So I'm going to call it Period 1, just to give it a different name. All right. And then that link that I copied from my Google Meet that was already in my module, because you have to have that there first, I'm going to copy it there. I want this tab to force open in a new one, so it's not right there. And then I'm going to go click on Show Course in Navigation. All right, so I've named it, so I'll know what it's going to be called in the navigation, something that kids can identify with. I've put in the actual Google Meet, and I've checked the two boxes. So I'm going to add that app. And And now it's going to be, go back to our settings, and I can look at it through our navigation. So notice I had some that I'd created in another example, so I'm going to drag those down. And the one I'm looking for would be our daily live session. I'm going to refresh here just a second. Okay, and there it pops up right there. And every time I refresh, it keeps my other examples, so I have to get rid of those. So there's the daily live session period 2. And remember, in your navigation for your course, everything you drag to the top is what the students see. So all these other items may be what you see, but you only want a few things for the students. How can I check that out? And before you leave that, make sure you save. I can go back to my home for this particular course. And remember, I have the student view that we talked about in our webinar trainings. So on the student view, I can look and notice over here, whatever I included in the navigation is what appears there. So instead of students having to go into your modules and click from there, they can just easily, every time they're in your course, simply click on the navigation that you titled that joins them to that meet. So in this case, I could click on the join that. So it's going to ask me to open in a new tab. And when I open in a new tab, then I'll be able to quickly join the Google Meet. Now, this is just part 1 to show you how to integrate Google Meet with your Canvas inside your courses. We'll also be sending out some video tutorials real soon about how to actually set that up if you wanted to do a screencast and or share your screen with your students.